Hello everyone, Josh here with Enemy Impact, bringing you guys some more PokeOne. Now today, it's really just, I want to kind of dive into some of the problems that I really have with the game. I wanted to give this game, a couple months of open beta before I really started to kind of talk about the game a little bit and kind of what my concerns were and stuff like that for it. We're going to be doing a little bit of gameplay in the background as well while we're talking about the game. Now, one of the biggest gripes that I really have with the game is its lacking of content. Now, the game developers, they've done an interview. I've listened to the interview. I kind of know where they want to be, where their heads are at, and I really am in a lot of disagreement per se of kind of what they're trying to accomplish here. It seems to me like they're really trying to push out the next region, which would be, I believe, Unova is what they're focusing on. I don't know when they're going to do a Sinnoh or Hoenn or anything like that. I don't really have a time frame for that. I don't think they do either. Now, the problem with this game is the game does need more content. But I feel like you need more content that can be used repetitively, so we can come back and keep having things to do. Because a major problem that a lot of Poke MMOs have is you jump in, you beat the game in a day or two, and then you literally have nothing left but just go back in and continuously rinse and repeat everything that you've already been doing. And of course they're having server errors again, which we'll get into that as well, don't worry. But, so that's one of the biggest things. They need to have some kind of replay value with their product. Now, I know this is a fan-made game, so you can't really expect too much from it, but if you're going to push it as a big MMO, as one of the best Pokemon MMOs out there, fan-made especially, then you really got to live up to that mantle. You got to be able to hold up to that mantle and be able to provide me with that type of an amazing product, be it a free-to-play game, pay-to-win game, whatever, fan-made, official, non-official, whatever. It doesn't matter. If you're going to talk a big game, then you better bring a big game, right? Now, so that's just one of the big things. It's like, yes, bringing out Unova is important, but it's like when you bring out Unova, how's it going to make the game any better? Because you can currently beat this game with a with not a perfect team, but with a decent team, especially if you start with Alakazam, give him a good nature, or even pick one up from somebody around, or even go into like tag battles with some of your friends. You can beat this game, the entire region, all NPCs, everything, in under 10 hours. And then you really find yourself in a spot that is similar to what I'm in right now, where there is literally like nothing to do. All I can do at this point is level my character up to a maximum of 100 for both regions, which is another problem that is in this game. It's way too tedious. I've talked to some players in the game that have been playing this game since before it came out in quote-unquote open beta, which I feel is, this game is still in closed beta. I don't care. I know it's technically open to the public, but the content-wise, quality-wise, stuff that you can do, all the bug problems, server problems in particular, this is definitely 100% more closer to a closed beta release than any kind of open beta. And the reason why I say that is because it has so many problems. I mean, it's had ongoing server problems nearly every single day since its closed beta release. Now, a lot of early access games on Steam, for example, will have similar problems, but they're pretty addressed for the most part, and they're not so frequent after the first couple of weeks, after the initial, big flow of, the player base coming in and trying out the game. This game has been out about, I think, a couple months now or so. It may be a little bit longer than that, and it still continues to have the day-to-day server problems constantly. They have to actually, at some points, actually slow down the chat in the Discord because of the amount of people that are complaining and irritated with the servers. And I'm sorry to say this, I've developed games in the past, I've worked on games, much bigger projects than this, and I can tell you right now, if we ever had a big server problem on an online only game, because this game does not have any offline play, I would close the server down until the problems are fixed. I would not just tell people, hey, why don't you guys just keep playing, but be careful, don't do this or do that, because you might lose your stuff. No, that's inexcusable. That's irresponsible of the developers, of their their little moderating team, whatever. You do not do that. That's how you piss off a player base. That's how you make people hate your game. That's how you make people make more videos like this talking about the problems with the game. instead of more, oh, the game is great, it's amazing, it's the best fan-made I've ever played, I can't wait to tell my friends. Why would you want to tell your friends to come play a game where the developers are basically telling you, oh, if you lose any of your stuff because of this and this, it's not our fault, don't come complain to us. No, it is your fault. It's your game. It's your product. If it's broken or if it doesn't work, that's not the player's responsibility. That's your responsibility as a developer. If you ever have any kind of issue where you are going to fear that you're going to lose account progress, you're going to lose items, if you trade with another player, you could lose your hard-earned stuff that you have basically worked for, especially when you're buying loot boxes, which that'll be another topic we'll get to in today's video. So if any of those things ever, strike a chord with you, then you need to understand that it's time to shut the server down, correct what needs to be corrected, because I'd rather tell my entire player base, I don't care if it's 5 people or 500,000 people, if I have to tell somebody, hey, we gotta close these servers down because the game is going through server maintenance right now because we're having some problems, some bug fixes need to be addressed, we don't want you guys to lose your stuff, so please be patient with us, we're gonna go to maintenance for like an hour, 2 hours, however long it takes. I don't care if it takes 2 days. I'd rather those issues be addressed than me possibly losing all that my hard-earned work that I put into your game, and then I lose it, and then it makes me just want to do one of two things: quit the game or completely have to start over. And I don't think anybody wants to do that at any level in the game, unless you're like very, very fresh in the game, you just started or whatever. And this game does not, and this game is not friendly for those who want to start a second account if that does happen, because the problem is you cannot make multiple accounts per email, and there's no way to even swap your email because there is no account verification well, I guess there is a verification process when you first start, but there's no account management. That's what I'm trying to say. There's no account management anywhere in this game for you to go and change out your email or maybe do something, because what if you quit using that email? You're pretty much up shit creek with your mouth wide open without a paddle, and there's nothing you can do about it. So you'd have to make a whole new email, start a whole new account, instead of just being able to make like maybe another character or something. So that's one big flaw that I've seen that this game has early on that some other Pokemon MMOs already have. Another big problem, the game's marketplace is completely destroyed. It's gone. They would have to do some major changes to revitalize, basically revive the player market. And what I mean by the player marketplace, I'm talking about like when you're selling and trading items to other users in the game, like either Pokemon, hold items, Pokeballs, rare candies, stuff like TMs, stuff like that. The game is already in a very bad state with that, where things are way exaggerated and overpriced, to the point to where it becomes very unbearable and unrealistic to assume that most players are going to be able to achieve that type of currency in game, those Poke Dollars and stuff like that, or even gold or whatever, to get certain things to be either competitive or just to get through the game story mode wise and stuff like that. It's just a little bit unrealistic and downright disgusting in a way, because there are things in this game that are well overpriced. Like there's certain you could catch a shiny in this game, and it could be like a terrible shiny, but it's a shiny nonetheless. It's supposed to be good. You can go to the trade market and you're gonna realize how bad that shiny Pokemon is actually valued at. Wow, as somebody could just catch an uncommon Pokemon with good EVs or IVs, and it'd be worth tens, if not hundreds of times more than that shiny Pokemon. That's supposed to be a rare sighting. It's a shiny, right? You're supposed to be excited about it. Where is the excitement when you find out that you got a shiny Pokemon that's worthless? You know what I mean? Because it's not a shiny Pokemon people are after, because people are more concerned with other Pokemon, commons, uncommons, rares that are really good EVs or IV stats, but they're asking 4, 5, 6, 700,000, if not in the millions, which is just ridiculous. Because if you're like in endgame, which you can get the endgame on both regions, currently Johto and there's Kanto, when you get to endgame, you can get there in anywhere from 10 to like 15 hours if you have a good team. You could beat both regions, like I said, and after you've done that, you've pretty much exhausted your resources. And again, you see the server error where it's taking forever to make a move. But you basically exhaust all your resources, your Poke Dollars. You've exhausted a lot of your items, especially the money you got to spend on repels. Oh my goodness, this game's spawn rate for Pokemon is outrageous, especially if you're in a cave or a dungeon or, you know, anything of that sort. Like if you're trying to go fight Ho-Oh or if you're trying to go fight Ash every day to do your dailies. Oh my goodness, you are being spammed with so many Pokemon that it's just so ungodly unbearable. So the only way to get through those effectively is to buy a bunch of super repels, which are going to cost you an arm and a leg if you're doing those dailies every single day, which you kind of have to, because that's the only feasible way besides doing your other dailies in Johto with like the unknown area, and then you also have your Officer Jenny dailies. If you do all that every single day to try and get your character level up, because that's the only way you can do it right now in the game, you know, you're gonna have to use a lot of repels to get to those bosses every day, and it's just, unless you want to walk through and escape every battle, and it's just a very long and tedious process with minimum rewards for maximum effort. And I just feel it's completely ridiculous. Like I said, I've talked to some people that are like max level 100 in Kanto, and they straight up told me, they said, bro, I had to do a good 4 or 5 hours of just grinding dailies every single day that this game has been out. Every single day of just grinding Officer Jenny bounties. You know, that's ridiculous to me. And that's just that's just Kanto. This game has a very big problem where if you go to another region, your character level gets reset. So, I mean, it makes sense in early game when you don't want people to just steamroll through the next region, but there's a problem with that. You're still going to steamroll through the next region, and here's why. Your Pokemon may be, you know, let's say I have like a level 69 Staraptor right now, which you guys can see in the bottom right. If, let's say, for example, I have not even been to Johto yet, and I go to Johto right now. My Staraptor is going to get knocked all the way down to level 5, but my Staraptor is still going to have his IVs, his EVs, and all of his 4 powerful movesets. He's going to have his close combat, aerial ace, brave bird, fly, and he's going to also be able to, he's also going to have his hold item, which is just going to still make him so OP that I'm still going to just see him roll level 5s to where I'm still going to level up and get kind of to, you know, end game point anyway. And that'll go for all, it goes for all my Pokemon like Tyranitar, Dragonite, Alakazam, you know, Sneasel, stuff like that. It would be the same case. So having that restriction is kind of like, it doesn't make any sense. All it's basically telling me is, oh my god, I gotta grind my ass off to try and get my character level to 100 for Kanto just so I can actually enjoy having a level 100 Pokemon. And then you gotta go and do it all over again in Johto, and it's much harder to do it in Johto because Johto, to fight the good bosses on a daily basis, you have to have items like Jade Orbs and stuff like that, which are only randomly dropped sometimes from like fighting like a boss like Ash, which Ash should honestly, personally, Ash should count for both. Ash should count for every region. He should give you character EXP for every region, no matter what. I just feel like that's ridiculous, and it should allow you to use your highest leveled region when you fight him. Something like that would make sense. But they definitely are lacking in ways to get character EXP in this game, and they encourage you to go buy the new premium loot boxes, which will give you, I think, like a 20% increase to, or it does something. I haven't really looked into it because I just feel that this game having any kind of pay-to-win aspect is ridiculous anyway. It's a fan-made game. It shouldn't be, there shouldn't be microtransactions in it at all. And I don't want to hear that bull crap. But the developers need support. No, they don't. Not for this is a non-official game. The developers knew what they were doing when they went into making a fan-made Pokemon game. Yes, if people want to throw some money at the game to donate to the game to help support the servers and stuff, they're more than free to do that. That's great. You know, I applaud you. You know, thank you so much for doing that. A lot of game developers do enjoy that. You know, they take a lot of pride in having people want to spend money. But when you are putting in a loot boxes that you want people to pay for to get a competitive edge by giving them more shiny drops, you know, increasing the shiny drops like 20%. I think you get more gold, you get more character EXP, all that kind of stuff. That is a competitive edge, a huge competitive advantage in the game, because here's the thing. If you give those people higher chances to pull more shinies or to get more character EXP, they're now able to farm higher areas a lot sooner. They're able to catch more shinies so they can sell them to make more money, which allows them to go buy more competitive Pokemon. You know, it's just a trickle effect. You know, a domino effect rather. It just goes, you know, boom, boom, boom all the way down from there. And the fact that you want people to pay for those is ridiculous. And I've seen the prices for the loot boxes. We'll even take a look at it here. We'll click buy more. Check this out. 2 loot boxes for $2, 5 loot boxes for $5, 11 for $10, 24 for $20. And yes, guys, there is a $40 loot box option in a fan-made Pokemon game. You could buy the official Pokemon games for $40. The official ones. I mean, another $15, $16. You can buy Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee, and Pikachu for the Switch. So that's just another problem with me. It's just really ridiculous in my opinion. But as you can see here, they added a new thing here. Each loot box contains a combination of up to 3 cosmetic items and/or mounts. That's fine. If they was just strictly cosmetics like what Fortnite does, that's great. At that point, I don't think I would really care, because that's not giving anybody a competitive edge. That's literally just pure cosmetics. I don't really care about that. But when you're talking, it gives you Poke Gold, TMs, items like that you can sell. They also added recently these new buffs. You can get a 1-day buff, a 3-day buff, 3 times day and 1 time week buff, 3 times week, and lastly 5 times week buff. It's a little bit ridiculous. Now, you can earn these loot boxes, but they are limited, especially the normal box, the red ones, the ones that give you 3 items. You get these small boxes every day, which gives you 1 thing at a time, and you know, sometimes you can get some good stuff from it, which is great. However, again, you're gonna have to log in and play out through your day-to-day, you know, grind, but with really nothing to do except your dailies once you've reached end game. And that is the problem. There's no replay value with this game. There's nothing saying, hey, let's just keep playing after I beat both regions. There's nothing. There's no good PvP environment. There's no good PvE raid bosses that you can just fight without having to keep using all your items to get to. And honestly, it wouldn't be that bad if they would make one small change where, let's go to the Pokemon Center here. If they made one big change where you actually get to the raid bosses, you can fly away from some of the raid bosses, but you can't fly to them. That is a major slap in the face and a middle finger. You also cannot take on the league championship. You should be able to fight the league at least once per day. Every single day, you should be able to just take on the league again. You know, the Elite Four for both Johto and Kanto. You should be able to fight them at least once per day. If you lose, you can keep fighting them as many times, I guess, as you want until you beat them. But after you've beaten them, you should be able to fight them at least 1 time a day while they get a little bit stronger until they cap off at like maybe level 100s or whatever. That would be great, because then we'd continuously keep getting character EXP. We'd be able to keep leveling up both our Johto and our Kanto characters in a reasonable manner. We'd be able to keep getting a little bit of Poke money every day to help, you know, supplement, you know, some of our costs of being able to, you know, basically looking for, you know, if we want to catch other Pokemon, or if we're looking for specific Pokemon that another trainer had, we might be able to afford to get those off those players and stuff like that, making it more balanced and more enjoyable game, and allowing us to actually just enjoy what Pokemon is supposed to be, and that's battling trainers and, you know, catching Pokemon. I mean, we just don't really get that kind of feeling in the current, you know, state of the game at the moment, sadly, and it's unfortunate. It really, really is unfortunate. But that's kind of where it is at the moment. The global marketplace is a mess. They need to just make a and having to deal within the chat to trade with people is even more annoying. They need an actual auction house or some kind of marketplace menu, like they do, like much what they got on PokeMMO, for example. And some of the stuff I've said today is only scratching the surface of some of the problems that they have. They have many, many other problems. It's just I really wanted to address some of the things that really are getting to me, kind of, because this game has the most potential to be the best fan-made Pokemon MMO, because it is beautifully stunning. It has the 3D graphics. It's using the more updated sprites, animated sprite, 3D sprites within the game. The fact that you actually get full screen battle instead of the little windows, that's all good things. That's going the right direction. But I'm not having any confidence currently from what I'm getting from the developers. I mean, the developers are not transparent in any way. They're not really telling people what's going on. They're barely ever active in the Discord. The only time they give you an update is when the server's crashing, which is like happens all the time. The moderators in the Discord have to keep putting the chat on slow mode because of all of the complaints that they're getting, because they have no, they have no reasonable way to deal with the oncoming traffic that they got. The game has too many players and it's not prepared for it. They were very unprepared. And I'm sorry, but again, going back to the loot box things, you should not be asking people to donate or to put any kind of money into loot boxes for an unfinished product, especially a product that has all these problems that's going on currently. And I mean, there's just a million other things that we could go into that are just an absolute problem. That I think that they need to address those and focus on that stuff more than worrying about dishing out Unova. Because the thing is, like I said, the game needs more content, but it needs more content with replay value. It needs content that's more efficient, more fun, and less work. You know what I mean? I feel like it's almost damn near a full-time job if you want to do your dailies every day, and that's ridiculous. And that's just to do dailies to get a little bit of EXP. And I mean a little bit. You're not going to be leveling up like every single day when you get up in the higher levels if you do your dailies for both Johto and Kanto. It gets ridiculous. The grind is ridiculous. And again, like I said, you start getting to the point where you're going to be running out of Poke money because you're going to be wasting so much on super repels and stuff like that. And max repel, trying to get to like Ash and trying to get to Lugia and trying to get to Rayquaza and all the other ones, that you face throughout the week and throughout the everyday, and Mewtwo, etc., etc. And the reward that you get from them isn't even worth the trouble after you've already spent all of them Poke Dollars on your repels to get there in a timely manner as it is. And don't even get me started on the Officer Jennies that are scattered all over the place that you got to go and do all your dailies for each. That is just too much. It's not worth the time sink that it requires to get minimum reward out of it, honestly. They definitely need to improve on that. They need to be a little bit more transparent with their player base. They are working on a fan-made game, but they're not really interacting with their fans. They always claim that they're working, that they got 30 years programming experience. I hate that excuse. How many game developers I've spoken to in my life, how many I've talked to, and if you're going to keep hiding behind the excuse of nobody knows what they're talking about because we have 20-30 years plus of programming experience, yet you're not going to turn off your server when you have a major problem, then you probably need to shut the fuck up and stop using that excuse. Because I can tell you right now, any programmer that actually has any sense of actually knowing how to program properly and working on an actual project in an actual serious manner with responsibilities, they're never gonna say, "Oh yeah, guys, don't tell me what's wrong with the game because we have 30 years of experience. We know exactly what to do." No, you don't, because I can tell you right now, one of the first things most developers are gonna do are gonna shut down the server to protect their player base, to protect their reputation and their integrity as supposedly knowing what they're doing. And they don't. They're not doing those things. So they're coming out as actually rookies. They're coming out as amateurs, and they're not coming out as what they're claiming to be, which is these highly experienced programmers and developers that have all this knowledge, whatever. No. If I've talked to Epic Games staff. I've talked to staff from other companies like Idea Fabric that works on Hero Engine. I've worked in other groups with people that are very experienced, more experienced than I deserve to be working with, and these people will never say, "Oh yeah, we got all this experience, shut the fuck up." No, because if you had that experience, you wouldn't have to tell me about it. You would prove it to me by making a good product, by shutting down servers when they need to be shut down when there's problems, having actual scheduled maintenance, telling players in-game, in the screen somewhere, flashing around, making it known that you're getting ready to do something like shut the server down, not making a small little announcement in the Discord and hoping that that's all you got to do. Because now if people aren't watching the Discord at the time, now they may have changed that since then, but I know back early on, a couple months ago when they released beta, they were just posting in the Discord, and for whatever reason, if you weren't in the Discord, you could be in the middle of a trade and they just shut that server down, and then you lose stuff. And do they care? No, because they clearly stated they're not responsible for any loss that you have in the game by their own problems, which is just completely ridiculous. And I can see why a lot of people would be upset with that and be upset you should be, because you have every right to be, because that's ridiculous. Again, this is a free-to-play game. You can't expect too much. You know, it's fan-made, unofficial, whatever, but, you know, I keep hearing this whole PokeOne's the best Pokemon MMO, best Pokemon fan game. It can be. It has the potential to be. Right now, PokeMMO is far more superior in every way. It may not be visually as good, but it has everything else that you need, and the actual developers actually talk to their players on a day-to-day basis, interacting with their community, letting them know what's going on. If there's a problem, if there's a maintenance, they take the game down. If it's a half an hour, or 2 hours, they do it, they make the changes, they come back, they keep you updated on what's coming soon, the progress. They even have roadmaps. I mean, there's a lot of things going on that you'd want to see from an actual developer to a player. You know, that kind of good interaction, which I see. Now, if this was a big company, I could see it'd be hard to talk to developers, because it'd be a big company and you'd have to go through several channels of support and stuff like that, because they're a big corporate entity. They're all over the world. They're doing big things. They're dealing with millions of dollars of product. This is not the case. These are fan-made games, and fan-made games, you really need to be interacting with your community on a very high level, day to day, at least weekly. And be very transparent, because this is how you build from your niche. This is how you basically build your product and make it expand into something that you want it to be, or you envision it to be, and that we all want it to be. And it can't do that when it has all these problems and you're just throwing excuses and throwing shade at everybody that brings up any points that you can't dispute. So instead, you just throw the "I'm a developer, you're not, shut the fuck up" card. That doesn't work. That doesn't fly with me. And I'm sure a lot of people don't like that and enjoy that either. And putting a slow mode on your Discord chat because you can't handle the amount of outrage you're having is just further proof that you guys are irresponsible and you can't handle your own community or your own product. And it's unfortunate, because look at this game. It looks beautiful. For a fan-made game, this looks beautiful. This looks almost like you would think it could look, possibly, if Nintendo made an official MMO. It would look somewhere like this, probably a little bit more, probably even more beautiful though, and probably be more real-time. Maybe, I don't know, they'd still maybe go with this style. But anyway, beyond that, beyond the actual visuals, the game has so many problems. It's like visually they took care of the game, but nothing else. And it's unfortunate, because I really want to see the game succeed. And we've already been going on for about 28 minutes now. I think I kind of got my points across, some of my problems. If you guys have any other problems that I have not brought up, that I probably know about, I can't get to everything. I'd be in this video for about an hour and a half if I went through every little thing. But if you guys have any problems with the game that I did not address or bring up, that you guys would like to bring up as well, do so in the comment section below. If there's any other things that that really that you want the developers to look at and maybe read through, and maybe they'll see this video, maybe they won't. But if they do, I would hope that they would take a listen to kind of get my perspective, get whatever your guys' perspective is in the comment section below, and look at the bigger picture and think, okay, we need to make some changes if we want this game to succeed. Now, I mean, of course, there's only so... I'm going to lose my sneeze, though I misplayed. But there's only so much you can do, of course, with a fan-made game, to kind of keep Nintendo off your back. But, yeah, this game has a lot more potential, but I do not have faith in the developing team behind it. That's the big problem that I have right now. That's the biggest issue. I feel like the game has all the potential in the world, but the developing team, that's another question. That's another question for debate. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, what your problems are with the game, what your gripes maybe with the game. I just feel that some of the biggest things are the server issues are just out of control. I feel there's no replay value right now. I don't think the game should be technically classified as open beta. It's more along the lines of still being a closed beta, but they made it open. You know what I mean? This is even earlier than early access. If this game was on Steam right now, which of course it couldn't be because then Nintendo would take it down, but if this game was on Steam right now, this wouldn't even be classified as early access because this has even got less, you know, content than an early access game. Plus, it has so many bugs and server issues and stuff like that. It would just be a colossal mess, and it would receive a very bad rating on the on Steam, which would encourage a lot of people to not play the game, which is not something that you want. I just feel like they gave you a very bare and unfinished product. It just looks beautifully, but it doesn't work beautifully. Is really just the big point of today's video, and I just kind of want to, you know, address what I feel personally, and hope that the developers see the video, understand where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to throw shade at you guys. I'm just trying to be realist here, be 100% with you guys, and give you my take on it. And hopefully you guys can go take it however you want, take it or leave it, whatever. Take whatever the comment section below gives you. You know, any advice is good advice. Criticism is good criticism, no matter how it comes across. You know, there's always something you can take from it. It's always a learning process, and I just feel like this game does have that potential. I just don't know if it's going to ever achieve it. But I hope that they prove me wrong, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe if you're new to become an Impact player today. Join us in the Discord below as always, and I'll be bringing you guys some more Pokemon content here very, very soon. I was scheduled to make a Pokemon MMO episode 5 today, but I haven't got around to it yet, so I'll see if I can get that done later today or not. I still got more Duel Link. Shoot, I almost took my mic out. I got more Duel Link content coming for you guys, dude, so don't worry. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.